Hello and welcome to the WP Builds Contribute podcast video. I don't know what to call it, but it's a thing where we have somebody on who's involved in some way in the WordPress community, or it's SaaS or something like that. And they've got something they want to show us. Normally, it's somebody showing us something that they've managed to do with WordPress, but not today, because we've got Boris Gefter on all the way from, well, Australia. I'm not exactly sure where in Australia. We'll find that out in a moment. So hi, Boris.
Hello. Hey, Nathan. How are you?
Hello.
Good.
Yeah, good. Thanks. It's always ridiculous, isn't it? We pretend like we've just started talking. We've been talking about nonsense for ages. But here we are. We're here today because Boris has built something called, well, you can see it on the screen. It's called Cogsworth. What's Cogsworth, Boris? What does it do?
Cogsworth lets people book time with you when you're available.
There it is. Look, says it on the...
I can't tell you how many iterations and how many people kept telling me, no, distill it even further. I want the elevator version of it. I'm like, dude, just freaking try it and then you'll know what it is. You know,
it lets you book time when you are available. Yeah, it does. I have this. Yes. I acquired it really recently, and that's kind of why Boris is on, because I started playing with it and really liked it. So I guess the primary thing here is if you need to book time when you're available, or you need to build something out for your clients, you know, you can do this stuff with WordPress. But my personal opinion is when you're dealing with money or you're dealing with time, I think it's probably a good idea to offload it to some database not under your control. I just do that because I don't want things like that going wrong. So do you want to show us how it works? How do we show us the UI, show us all the bits and pieces that you've built, and I'll quiz you about it as we go on.
Sure. By the way, I am personally quite happy with our new homepage. If the viewers would like to give me some feedback or criticize, or just, you know, give me a pat on the back, I'm open to that as well. But
how old is it?
It's like 3 days old.
Oh, okay.
People have been emailing me going, there's a typo here, you idiot. And so I've been correcting that. But aside from that, I'm really happy with it. It's actually converting a little bit better than the old homepage. But we can get into that mumbo jumbo later. Let's jump into Cogsworth, hey?
Yep.
Okay, so this is Cogsworth. When you sign up, you hit this page, and this is a businesses page, and unashamedly it has been inspired by a product that I really care for called Typeform. And Typeform also takes this idea of instances, if you will, wherein you could have many forms, and each form could have its own behavior. And in a similar way, we have many businesses. So there are a lot of use cases for having multiple businesses. If you have an agency, for example, and you take care of many different websites, many different clients, you could want to do that from one admin area. If you have a virtual assistant or a call center where you manage multiple businesses, again, you can securely assign yourself as a staff member to a business, and you don't have to share credentials. And it also has uses if you simply own a business with multiple locations. For example, if you own a hairdressing salon in one part of the country and a hairdressing salon in another part of the country, and they have different working hours and different staff, etc., you can do that here as well.
Okay, so each of those is a different business. So like if you've got a web design business, you'd have one card there. But if you've got like a web design business and a hair salon, that'd be quite an interesting life, wouldn't it? You could have two cards there, but in theory, it could spread across as many as you want. You're busy. Look, you've got 6 businesses.
Well, I think my mic cut out, but now it's back. Yeah, so this is actually a live business for a company I happen to consult as well. I also do a bit of consulting. And so what these guys do is they sell office furniture in Sydney, in Australia, actually. And they have a sales team in Sydney, a sales team in Melbourne, a sales team in Queensland, and they've also got a project management team. Okay. So this is a fairly new setup for them. And you can tell which businesses are on because the green toggle is on. You can switch them on and off. And you can tell which licenses, there are big licenses and solo licenses or free licenses, and you can see what is assigned to which business. And also you can tell whether you're the owner or the staff member, because if you're the staff member, it'll simply say staff here. So this is the extent of it. You can create more businesses by clicking that, but this is the screen. It's meant to be really simple, and we'll just dive into a business.
Hey? Yeah, let's go for it. Let's schedule some appointments. Let's get it so that people can book us.
Brilliant. So when you have set up your Cogsworth, it gives you this dashboard, and I'm pretty proud of a couple of the mechanics that we've used. One of the mechanics we've used is this little square, and you know how when you this, by the way, is not really useful to the product. I'm just a bit of a product geek, and so stop me if this. So you know how when you sign up to a product, they have those annoying walk me through things where they're like, they put a modal over the page and are like, this is where you create a new stuff. I hate that. And so I wanted to create first I wanted to create an intuitive product, and I think we've accomplished that, but I'll let the audience be the judge of that. But secondly, I wanted it to be a more natural way of doing it. So for example, when you log in, your percentage will be low, and then you'll have to like click on the individual things and do the action, and then your percentage will increase. It's a small game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so like in this particular case, like it's saying my last remaining action would be to embed the booking page onto a website. And once I hit submit, it will go up to 100. But I love this mechanic. It's a slight game mechanic. And
bit of gamification, get us through all the hoops, make sure you're working and using it all at the same. Yeah, good idea.
Absolutely. So here you can see, your upcoming appointments. Again, this is a new setup, so they don't have any. The capacity, this is a beautiful little widget, especially when you see all the staff that you have, and you can see how much capacity they have based on how much of their time has been booked out, and you can toggle between this week, today, or this month. You can quickly add staff members. You can see your SMS credits, and you can see your public booking page. And if we just click on the public booking page, it takes us to said booking page, where the logo comes up, the colors are customized, and we only ask one question at a time. And here, the customer would select which service they want and proceed to the booking. But we'll come back to this in a sec.
This I know we'll get asked this. If you go back to that page, that logo there is customizable, isn't it? You can put your own logo. If you really wanted it to be like logoless, you could upload a white logo, I suppose, or something like that. So this is white labelable if you were to embed this on your own page.
That's right. You can do that, and it actually hyperlinks directly to your site as well if you click on the logo. And I've had people ask that, and I just told them to upload a pixel one by one. And when you upload it, you can't see anything. So it's equivalent. But yeah, it's there's really I wanted to stop people just running away with the product and being like, and people, you wouldn't believe how many people ask me, can I change fonts and can I change font sizes? And the answer is always no. And part of that, and that's all by design. We want to control the experience and learn and optimize the conversion path as much as possible.
Right.
And the only way we can do that is by limiting the variables. It's a very scientific method, if you will. So I'll get back into it. On the left-hand side, you can see the first thing that you have is staff. And staff are the people that work for you, or the people that will do the work of something. And you can like, if I click on myself, you can see, you enter your name, your email, your phone. It's important to enter your phone because we've recently released a new feature where it will actually spoof your phone number and send it to a customer. Only available in certain countries, but that will work in many countries.
That's interesting. Yeah, I noticed that was a compulsory field, and I was a bit puzzled by that. But that's now.
Yeah. We've changed it for the booking page, but it's not a compulsory field. But we've changed, but it's a nice to use field, and we'll go into that as well. Again, you can also upload an avatar, and each staff member, you can mark them as administrator or not, and you can see upcoming appointments, but each staff member also gets their own booking URL. And so if I click on that, you'll see my personal booking URL with my little icon.
There you are. Look. Oh, I never saw that because I've set it up it's me. So I just use the default one, the one that you showed us moments before, the business one, as opposed to the staff one. But that's cool. That's nice.
Yeah, I like it. It's like a personal little touch. And also, every URL, every public booking URL also has these options, and you can actually specify a specific day that so say you only wanted to share availability for a specific day. You can select the day and then click visit, and then it should go. If I select the service that I want, it actually goes straight to that day. So that a lot of people asked us for that, and we built that functionality.
Okay, so you could have somebody and set it up so that they're only available next week on Wednesday, and right. If anybody tries to book it, it goes straight in rather than showing a bunch of blank days. It just goes straight in on the day that they're available. Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, thank you. And the time zones are automatically detected, and it's based off your computer clock. So it's funny, I actually didn't know that the Philippines doesn't have a Windows booking clock. I was really staggered by that. I think it's the Philippines. Pretty sure it is, because
that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. A customer got in touch with me and is like, "Oh, it's not detecting my time zone." And I'm like, pish posh, surely, Windows has it. And I was shocked to find that it doesn't. So
this, if you do get international people, that feature is really important. On my current system, it doesn't auto detect it, and everything is based in London. And honestly, I would say 30%, maybe more, of the people who book to come on the podcast who are not from the United Kingdom, I end up having to email back and saying, "Are you sure you want to come on at 3 a.m?" And I've now created a generic canned response in Gmail with an image with a great big arrow pointing to the box, because unlike yours, which looks like a box that you should be clicking, mine, the UI, the guys that designed the UI have obviously decided to sort of have it like as text with a little drop down arrow next to it, and you actually have to locate the arrow, push it, and then it becomes a drop down field, but it's disguised. I mean, it's nice, but it's not quite as functional as auto detect. So thank you.
Yeah, well, you're welcome, and it's nice to be thanked. But it's actually perhaps the most difficult part of our app is the logic, and there's a lot of logic that processes time zones. I mean, one of the things that we got stumped with like really early on is this GMT plus 11, which indicates I'm in Sydney, but daylight savings throws everything into a loop. And
yes.
And so we had that for a while because it was like GMT plus 10. And what's funny? I looked into Outlook.com, your Hotmail, and their time zone says GMT plus 10. So they're like, even Microsoft got it wrong.
Wow. And so presumably the database has got to update this stuff based upon what the country's laws are and how they change and what dates going forward and blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
I won't lie to you. We've spent so much time debugging this, and we can do a whole different podcast about the virtues of lifetime purchases. One of them is patience, and willingness to just tell you that yes, they've tested it and it's wrong, and then you go, please, I'll fix it. So we're fortunate in that we're past that stage now. Even so, when we release a new feature and we change something, inevitably, several people detect it and be like, "Hey, this doesn't quite work." But nothing, like, we're past the big breakage stage. I'm happy to report that 99% of what we build and release is well tested, unit tested, and works. And I'm pretty proud of that. And my developers are just incredible. Shout out to Sebastian and Mark if you guys are watching. I'll listen. So one other thing, since we're here, I wanted to show, which we recently released, and it's one of these underrated features that I think is absolutely pivotal and incredible, is this is built in JavaScript. We use React in the front end, and React tends to be stateless. So if I were to refresh this page, it would just restart from scratch.
Yeah.
This is not good. It's not good for a couple of reasons. And for us, it's not good from a practical perspective because we've just been recently integrating PayPal. And the way that PayPal works is that it redirects to PayPal and then comes back. And it has to come back to the state that it was in before to validate that it should proceed. But it's also not good from the perspective of if you're on your mobile, for example, and you should navigate away to a new tab or close it for a while, oftentimes accidentally or on purpose, it refreshes and then you lose where you were and then you rip your hair out and you throw your phone away. So we wanted to solve that. And so now if you refresh the page, as I will right now, I should be, I'm back here. And so wherever
the second step, got you.
That's right. So if I should refresh here, and I'm so glad that it's not breaking in this live demo.
Yes. There's nothing. Foot firmly in mouth is not a comfortable feeling, is it?
Not a comfortable feeling. But so you can proceed, and if you want to restart from the beginning, you can just hit this handy restart link, and you go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And like I really love our booking page. I think it's beautiful. You can see the progress in this subtle progress bar at the top. I like subtlety. There's not enough subtlety. I think the British invented subtlety, if I'm not wrong.
Well, I am a blunt instrument. There is no subtlety about me, but yeah, I appreciate it too. So how do you? So what? We're on step 2. So the step 1 is that book the service. Step 2 is pick the day or the time, depending on what's available. Step 3, what's that say? Oh yeah, just check. Nice. Okay, check it. Make sure it's all correct, and then click continue. Stick your name in.
That's right. Well, I'll come back to this in a second because this leads me nicely into this section, which is the booking form. And in the booking form, you can select what you want. So for example, we ask for the name, for the email, and there's like a custom question, which is how many people in your office. But you can drag in a mobile phone number, which by default is compulsory. And you noted correctly, it used to be compulsory, but we've made it non-compulsory.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. And you can reorder things, and you can we can push in a yes/no question, and you can just say, "Hey Nathan, I don't want to pollute this live."
$7 billion is the number to put in there. Anything greater than 7 billion is fine. You can do 7 billion.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is you can add variables that you collected in your previous form. So, and you can make it compulsory or non-compulsory. So that's the booking form. And you can also, for those of you who listen in other areas and don't like how questions are worded, we've created the ability for you to change the way that they are worded. So you could say, name please, for example. And if you save it, the form will update to that as well.
Oh, cool. I hadn't spotted that. Okay.
Yeah. And we've actually sneakily done this. Again, I'm a big fan of like elegance and not over cluttering or complicating things. So instead of us translating everything and hiring translators, what we do is we say our app is translatable. All you have to do is you just click on these little widgets and you just type your own text.
Right.
Yeah. And the only thing we translate for you are like the button texts and the things that are not really open to interpretation. And we've preloaded the common ones. And people sometimes come to me and like, I want Estonian. And so we just upload Estonian because we just run it through a translator. And more often than not, it's right. And sometimes it's not. And then they contact us and we fix it. But the rest of the app, they can change on their own. So yes, so far so good.
So this is the form builder, which is drag and drop, dead cool. So let's have a look at that form then. Can we view that form as it is at the moment? Can you do that kind of see what the form looks like?
So what I might do is I might just do this little thing. So I just want Windows right.
That's nice. Yeah, good idea.
So you can see what is your name. So I might just go Boris.
Got it.
And it's what is your email?
There it is. Step 2. Yep.
And how many people in your office? I might say 9. And okay. And so now this is the confirmation screen. By the way, you can also customize your confirmation screen. So you can say you have selected consulting.
Yes.
So you selected that. We've got some nice placeholders for you. And then if I click confirm, it will say thank you, Boris. Again, you can customize the thank you screen with your placeholders, and it will be it'll be good. So that's how easy it is to book. That's how I firmly believe it is the best booking experience. Of course, I would say that, but it's easy, and you can download your calendar to add to your Google or Outlook, or it'll be emailed to you as well. And we can go into that. Like I might open my email client and show you the email as well. So that is that so far. The other thing here that I want to show on the booking form is you can embed this in your website, and we have it. If you actually do, if you go into our homepage, this is embedded. This is where dog. I think in programming it's called dog fooding, where you.
That's right, eating your own dog food. That's right. Do to others as you would have done to you, or whatever. I don't know.
Exactly right. So we're dog fooding ourselves, and this is completely natively embedded, using the very same instructions that we provide to people. Let me just close a couple of these things on this page. And we also have help.cogsworth.com for a little troubleshooting things. But yeah, basically you can proceed with this booking just like the booking that I showed just then. And and so it's there. So
does it have the? Sorry, carry on.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
What I was going to say is, do we have the capability to like hook this up to, let's say, in my case, Google Calendar, so that inspect these 3 calendars for availability, and if there's availability, show it on Cogsworth, and if not, don't show it. And then if somebody does book, send it to this calendar in particular.
Funny you should ask, because we do. So let's jump right in there. If you go into calendar connections, right now you will see that there's just a staff calendar connection, but you can add, we recently changed this, but you can add, I believe, 3 calendar connections as part of your big plan. Although this is one of those things where I'm going to have to upgrade in front of everybody. So if you go into add-ons, so basically it should provide 3, but there's a bug.
Oh, the account that you're using currently doesn't have that capability.
Doesn't have the capability, but you can see here these are all of our add-ons, and what I want to buy.
Oh, slow that down. Let's go back up. Let's have a look at the add-ons. Right to the top. 5 additional staff members. Got it.
Yeah.
$25 a year. That's interesting. Yeah. We normally get the pricing per month, don't we? So that's nice. That's like a year.
If you want it per month, you can have it per month.
Got it.
But
that's wow. Okay, so it's 5 times the cost of the monthly subscription if you go for the yearly. Wow, that's really generous. Normally it's 10 times, isn't it? You get 10 months for the price of 12. That's really good. Yeah. So additional businesses, 25 a year. Recurring appointments, 25 a year. I get you. Additional calendar. There we go. $5 a year. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Redirect after booking. Okay, so go to this URL. Send SMS. Right. Okay. So is SMS at the cost of the SMS? Presumably that's not included. That's just the capability to hook it up to Twilio or something like that. So
this is a special feature, and I'll go into that in a second. Not available in every country. I don't believe the UK supports this, or the US, but it might be worth trying it. But because what it does, we use an SMS provider called Plivo, and I specifically chose it because I know that it spoofs SMS numbers, and I knew that it has a really beautiful use case in that if you want an SMS sent from your number to your customer so they can reply to you and say, hey, I can't make it or whatever, it will allow you to do that. Unfortunately, the UK and the US, I'm pretty sure, have carrier restrictions that don't allow that.
So it's legislation to prevent it, presumably for like nefarious people spoofing. I can see why.
And I've had a lot of fun, playing with this myself, sending messages to my friends. But yeah, that's the unethical way of doing it. but you can do that, and it is legitimately a useful tool. Here you can buy SMS packs.
I see it. I got it. So you can buy them there. So 50 SMS for $3. What? No, I can't see that. $15 one time for 50 SMS. I got you.
That's right. And we will be introducing more generous, like bigger packs. People have just been complaining a lot about how expensive the SMS are, and the real fact of it is that we don't want to build an SMS gateway. We don't want to build like all these tiers and pricing. That we have customers all around the world, and so we just want to not lose money on SMS. And in order for us not to lose money, we just have to just make sure we always make money on SMS. And this does that. We can. This will become more generous in the future, but the other thing is, if you still hate us for such exorbitant SMS fees, even though the product is inherently, I think, affordable, you can still choose not to do this and use our webhooks or Zapier to send your own SMS from your SMS gateway.
Of course, use something like Zapier and hook it up to Twilio or something like that. Yeah. Good point.
That's exactly right. So I'll just quickly go back to the business that I was in, and go back to calendar connections. And I've got a calendar connection already existing as a staff member. So this is my staff account. And what you can see if you just click add connection or add Office 365 connection, it will just authorize it. And then you can select the calendars within that account, and it will pull in your availability from that calendar. And if you add multiple connections, it will pull the availability from multiple connections. So if you have 10 calendars, you can add them all, and Cogsworth will look at them all and will not let customers book time on you when you have a dental appointment, for example, which I happen to know that you're going to next, Nathan. So.
Yes.
So, and then we have this feature, which allows you to export your appointments into your calendar, and that's what it does. It says what it says on the tin.
So that's exactly as I described, isn't it? So so basically, look at these calendars to see if I'm busy or free, and then if the appointment's possible, show it on the website or on the landing, the Cogsworth page, and if it is booked, chuck it into that calendar, so that I know it's there. And obviously with your Google Calendar or iCal or whatever, you can then be notified, although Cogsworth does that as well. I have so much of that nonsense going on. I'm notified multiple times for every calendar appointment and the booking system and I've really got to get that under control so I don't have to delete 9 emails about the exact same thing.
So that's right. And there's a couple of things I wanted to say just briefly. One is we are GDPR compliant, and we take this very seriously. So any custom form data that you collect, we don't pass through into your appointment. Instead, what we do, we pass through the hyperlink to the appointment itself. So if you put an appointment, and then you can securely log in, because we have like medical centers that use us, for example. I don't know what they're collecting. They could be collecting HIV statuses, which I don't care to know about, and I don't want to expose that in an unencrypted way. So we just say, here, click here to, I'll just show the list. Where did I book it? I booked an appointment. There it is. So we say, click here, and it takes you to the actual appointment like this.
Got it.
From the calendar connection. And yeah, so that's.
So your email isn't going to be cluttered up with non-GDPR data that you should never have sitting in your email client. It should be just stuck in Cogsworth and it's sitting there, but you've got that under control, encrypted and whatnot.
That's correct. And the other thing is, really, there's a toggle here, which a couple of people have told me they miss, where you can switch between calendar and list view. I actually do like list view a lot because it is convenient to just quickly see your appointments.
No, you see, that's just wrong. No, you want the calendar view. Boris, that's just wrong. There you go. Yeah. That's it. Stay with that one.
You can also use week view.
That's weird.
But
I love that view. I always want that view.
Yeah, but there is an advantage to this because you can export CSV appointments from here, and sometimes you just want that view, like just quickly. But I like the calendar view also a lot. So the last thing I want to say, you mentioned that you get a lot of emails, right? And it's actually, as much as I would love to trash our competitors for not being able to control their system, it is actually because when you synchronize your calendar to export appointments into it, it will automatically, and you cannot switch this off, send invites to the person that has been invited to the event, right?
Yeah.
And so you can switch it off, but you will forego exporting the appointment into your calendar from Cogsworth.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can still get the export happening using Zapier, and I have experimented with that with a couple of customers who just hate the native invite that Google and Outlook provide. But this is really it's a neat tied-in functionality, and unless you really hate it, I would advise against switching off.
Okay.
But speaking of emails, here you can customize which emails you want to be sent. Now you can send emails to customers, staff, or to yourself as the business owner. I like to have the business owner one switched off because I tend to double as staff.
Yes, and I've done that. I switched all of those ones off and just kept it as the business because it's just me.
Exactly. And you can send SMS as well. And then if you click on this little thing,
I like that. Do you know what? I think that UI is cool, where you click on that one button and all of the switches turn into edit buttons. That's really nice.
Do you know what? I would love to take credit, but it was our Sebastian, who is one of our developers. He came up with this, and he is just a talented oak. And he is, really, really brilliant. And if you click on the different templates, you can use our placeholders and add whatever you want. So you could be like this, and it previews it for you over here. So you could say this appointment is coming up. I can't type, obviously. And then you can just say, for example, let's just pull in, let's put a business name. Appointment for business name, and then it previews it for you. Obviously would insert your own business name in there, and then you just click save template and it will be saved. I won't do that because we're in live environment, but I can demonstrate it, and it works, and it's cool.
Yes, it does work. I've fiddled with those extensively. I've switched off all. For my use, I just want an email, so I switched off all the staff ones and just left it as the business, and I've just made it suit me. It just sort of log in.
That is. I'm glad that people are navigating this and understanding how it, because to me that's kind of the most important thing, that people get it, and I'm really, really pleased to hear that, Nathan.
No, it's good. I honestly, I thought that UI was really clever. That button at the bottom, just show what it does. Look at those toggle switches. Watch the toggle switches when he presses that button. Look, they turn into edit buttons, and then you click done, and they go back to being toggle switches. How cool is that? You like that? Sorry, you carry on.
No, please go ahead.
I was going to say, so we've covered kind of like what the booking page looks like. We've covered the stuff about SMS and various settings and what have you. We haven't really covered like setting up multiple kind of let's go for like setting up an appointment or something like that, if you know what I mean. Setting it up so that I show certain times for certain people and other times for other people, that kind of thing.
Okay, cool. Just before we move on, reminders, you can send reminders, different times before the appointment, and you can with the SMS. So let's do this. Let's jump into settings. So if you go into your name and click settings, you can set working hours.
This is it. That's what I was trying to grapple with. I was trying to get the name working hours. Great.
So this is interesting. So you can set working hours for your business, right? But you can also set working hours for your staff, and your staff working hours override business hours and give you a bit more flexibility. So I'll go into that momentarily, but here you can set your working hours. Since we're in again, using the toggle, you can just switch days on and off like so, and then click save settings.
Is it possible to put in, sorry, just going back to that one, is it possible, or maybe roadmapped to, like, say, for example, I want to do Monday from 10 till 1, and then I want to have an hour off, and I want to go from 2 till 4, say. Is that possible?
It is. It's possible in your staff settings, and I'll show you. Yeah. Because we were also debating this, because a business really doesn't have any breaks. A business is always on, but a staff can go for lunch.
Good point.
So yeah. By the way, this is where you can connect your Zapier and get webhooks and customize your stuff and things like that, and like change. We also have this really cool feature. You can change the way your data is formatted.
I noticed that. Yeah, I've set it to the normal British one. Oh, and then you got the buffer times as well, so you can say don't book me an hour before or an hour after or what.
Yes. This is highly requested, and this is brand new. I don't think even our customers are aware of this yet, but yes, this is where that lives, and this is very cool. And let's just quickly jump into staff. So let's just jump into myself, for example, and here we have a tab for working hours. And by default, it says use business working hours. But
right, did not see that. There it is. Yeah, you got the plus icon. I see it.
And then you could say, I've got a break from 12 to 12:30. I also would like a break from 13. We use like military time till 14, and then you click save, and then you won't be available to be booked at that time.
Yes.
Now, the thing is, so we'll test this in a second, just to make sure that I'm not a liar, or I'm not unwittingly a liar. The thing is, if we were now to go into the booking page of myself, which is my staff booking page, which is here, I shouldn't be able to book myself at, say, 1 o'clock. However, if we were to go into the public booking page, and you can see we have many staff here, if there are staff available at that time, which I would hazard there would be, then they could be booked, and that's the other advantage, where we have like a collective pooling of availability, and we let customers book with people.
Okay, so the business is available, the person isn't, kind of.
Correct.
Right. Yeah, I didn't pick up on any of these nuances because I was just using it as me. It's nice, really nice, because obviously a lot of people are far bigger than me, just one, and this would be really important to know that you can have the whole business available. You just got to keep on top of making sure these times are accurate. Speaking of accurate, can you take a holiday? Can you say, in a couple of weeks, I'm going off for 2 weeks, but book that off. I always want to be unavailable for 2 weeks or something.
So yes and no. We are working on that feature. It is roadmapped. Yeah, it's actually a very, very simple feature to do. It's just a matter of prioritizing it. Just switch off this test stuff. Can
I tell you how I do it? Can I tell you what my workaround is? I have a calendar called Timeout, and I just put the calendar. I fill up the calendar for the holiday period, like over Christmas. I just filled that calendar with every day, and then when the system was inspecting which calendars were available, it saw me as unavailable. That's how I worked around it.
That's brilliant. That's exactly what I was going to say. That's the way we do it right now. In the future, we will have some sort of drag and drop blocking out of time natively inbuilt into Cogsworth. But what you suggested is a beautiful hacker approach, and I love hacking, and I think it's brilliant when people find ways around things and That's exactly right. So you can book out times here, and you can book out times in your connected calendar. So if you're in your Gmail, you can just switch off times, and you won't be booked.
Yep.
So
Yep. That works. Trust me, it works. I've done it and checked it.
Oh, brilliant! Brilliant. Couple more things. By the way, typically a walkthrough takes 10 minutes because I just rattle things off. But I'm kind of enjoying our conversation. So
yeah, it's good. There's a lot of value in here. It's great.
Thank you. And so here you can have your services. We recently added a little drag and drop functionality, like so. But you can once you click on a service, you can see the name, you can have a description, you can toggle whether this is a paid service or not. If it's a paid service, then right now you can only accept payment when people arrive. However, we're bringing out PayPal any day now, and you will be able to accept payment using PayPal. You can add multiple durations. So, for example, a service like a showroom visit could have a duration of 30 minutes or 60 minutes. You have minimum notice time. So you could say, I don't want to be booked unless I have at least 90 minutes of notice time, which is distinct from the buffer that we saw in the settings, which is between every appointment, I want X amount.
I'm going to interrupt again. Why did you choose minutes? Because in my case, I want to be booked like 7. I don't want to be booked 7 days in advance, and so I had to do all the times 60, times 60, times 24, times 7, and it gave me the number of minutes, which I then inputted.
Well, the other way would be decimal places of years, right, or decades.
Yes. Yeah. I wondered if the option may be on the roadmap for toggle that to hours or days or something.
It absolutely is. Yeah, that's definitely in the roadmap, and 100%. That's a very useful feature. Yes, I just by default we made the choice of minutes because we thought that was
because it usually is. I would say businesses want the business, don't they? Not sort of turning people away because it's 7 days off. Yeah, fair play. Yeah. Right choice. If you needed to get it out quickly and ship it, minutes was the right one. Absolutely.
Shipping is important, but yes, definitely. But in the service area, you can also select particular staff that you only want to service this service. So again, if I select this, then I and Cassandra would be the only ones that could conduct showroom visits. Then here you can add a recurring appointments add-on, which was, can we swear on this podcast? Can we swear
I'd rather not, if it's possible.
Okay. Well, I will bleep out, which was to build. It was very.
We all know what it was.
It was an absolute mother.
Yeah, we know.
But you can enable this, and this is so beautiful because if you're a consultant that does weekly appointments or monthly appointments or daily appointments, whatever, you can allow customers to book, several instances, and it will send invites. It's very, very powerful. Really beautiful feature, simple as well. And then this is a beautiful feature, perhaps one of my favorites because it's so understated. And here you can select a location. So in this case, we have a physical location, and this location will be sent in the invite, in the calendar invites. People can navigate. But
this is the primary reason I started to explore it, actually, because of something a need that a family member has, and they have 3 locations, possibly 4 in the future, and your platform does that thing. So that's kudos for that. Yeah.
Oh, well, this was I'll tell you how we came to this, right? So but first, look, we can let a client specify the location. So if you want to go to the client office, for example, you could say, tell us where you want to meet. A custom location is typically if people meet in meeting rooms and they have obscure names like Sydney Opera House or whatever, you can add a custom location. Custom URL. So custom URL was my way of solving people hassling me for Zoom integration. Like, we love Zoom, it's a great product, but we're not going to go and integrate with Zoom and not integrate with other providers. So provided Zoom, and it does, generates a static URL, you can actually say custom URL and then paste in the Zoom URL, and it will come through in the location of the invite.
Perfect. That's a good workaround. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just limited to Zoom. Whatever generates a static.
Yeah. It could even be a Google Map.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's exactly right. And then this once the calendar is enabled, once your Gmail calendar is enabled and synced, this option becomes available to auto-generate a Google Hangouts link for online conferences as well. And if you have G Suite, it auto-generates what's called the Google Meet link, which is
that's like the new thing, isn't it? Yeah.
It's very nice, I must say. I think they do a great job. So that's services in a nutshell. And again, you can link directly to your service, and you can still have the ability to link to a service for a specific day as well, and you can copy the service as well. And then if you only want to embed the ability to book a service, you copy that URL, you copy this embed code, and you just substitute the public booking page URL with your service URL or your staff member URL or whatever you want to be booked, and go ahead and embed it, and it will be done.
Groovy.
And that's it.
That's it. These contribute things are supposed to be about 15 to 20 minutes. Do you? I think we've blown it. I think we've gone for like about 45 or so. It's been great. Good for you for having so much to say. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And next time we should discuss philosophy, because we were having such an engaging conversation.
Yeah, we had a long chat before this began, didn't we? And we talked. We put the world to wrongs. We really did. So. Tell us where you're at. What's the URL for this, and where can we find you? You personally. Oh, well done. I was going to ask you to do that. You're really good, aren't you? You're dead slick. Where's the URL for this, and where are you on Twitter or Facebook or whatever?
So if you go to cogsworth.com, you can find everything, all these lovely features, and you can sign up for a 14-day free trial. I don't tend to participate in the Twitter conversation all that much, but you can find me on LinkedIn. I contribute on our blog. I have a lot of opinions. I don't think many would really love to hear them, but so that's why I stay off the social verse. But I'd like to think that I help to build nice product, and and please enjoy, really, and give us feedback, and really open to improving this product.
It's a lovely product. I've got it. I've used it. And if you've got, if you have a need to book your clients for, I don't know, website planning meetings or something like that, cool. But also, why not encourage your clients to use this if they have that need? Because pretty much everybody needs to be booked at some point or other, and it does that job admirably. Thank you, Boris. Nice one. Brilliant. What was a absolute smasher of a contribute. Take care.
Thank you, Nathan, and we'll speak soon.